So this one had two bottlenecks. You know what? I started counting and then I just gave up. I'm like, I'm not even gonna be able to fit it into the boxes. So I just used the formula. So it's just A to B, B to C, and then C to D. Right? Those are my three brackets that I need to see. So the way I'm gonna mark this, I will give you a mark for each correct setup today. Okay, you should have three brackets, and if everything is right inside the bracket, you get the mark for each one of those. And then we'll give you, I think to break this down like that, I will just give you one mark here for that. So that'll be 4. And then of course the final answer, a mark for it. What does that mean? What does final answer mark mean? It means that, let's say you make a mistake here, like one of these brackets is done wrong, you lose this mark, but you would still get the mark for doing that last step where you divide everything and multiply it out to get this. Okay. So yes, this is supposedly out of 3, and that's normally what it would be on the exam. But today we'll make it 4 just to make it easier. So 1, 1, and 1. Sorry, 5. Thank you. 5 marks just for this page, just to make it easier today, okay? Anybody count it? Did anybody do the counting inside? I want to see that. Like, I don't know how you would manage to do that, but sometimes students knock it out of the park here. So from A to D in this case, and knowing that we have 2 cities sort of that we need to drive through. You can see it that way, or 2 points. So here and here. So you're going from A to B and then from B to D, right? That's your first option. Second option is going from A to C, which is here, and then C to D. I would strongly recommend you write out what it is that you're doing, okay, before you just write down a bunch of numbers. So I will obviously today much more than just the marks that are associated here, just to make it easier. So we'll give you 1 mark, 1 mark, 1 mark, 1 mark. Okay, so 4 marks right here for having all of these 4 there. Then we'll just give you 1 mark for having it, either you have it this way or you go straight to that. I would say it's a little bit too big of a jump. Be careful to not go too quick, because you just want that answer, right? I know it. I know you want the answer, but if you're off even a little bit, you're not going to get the final answer mark. You're going to lose marks along the way, so just take your time. And you get 41.25. I should ask, I rushed to this morning. Is this what we're getting? I get a bunch of nods if you did it. If not, shame on you. I'm not doing homework. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll go with 6 marks. If you get this number, you get the 6 marks, right? Like, if you're not sure, like, oh, do I get this one or that one? The truth is, however you choose to solve it, the final answer does matter. And so if you show us work along the way, you get the mark. So we've got 6 here, right, on the back side, and 5 for the front. We could make this out of a million, it doesn't matter, right? You would still get a percentage at the end. So this is 11. 6 and 5. So have your name and last name on this one, because I'll enter it separately, separate column on my spreadsheet. Okay. This one, I will also just show you the key on this one. So we'll just do one at a time here. And I know the wording was a little off, so I tried to clarify that. I don't know if you got the message on Google Classroom. So here, how many pizzas can you make? You basically just multiply all of your options for the meat, the veggies, the cheeses, and so forth. You get 1152. Is that what we're getting? Yes? Okay, meat, vegetable, cheeses, crusts. So you went for the one topping here, you added these two together? Yeah, that's actually true. So this is 14. So then we replace this with 14. So I'll leave this. If someone read it today, you know what? If you read it this way, then you get the mark. Otherwise, if you read it the proper way, this is what it is. 336? Okay. I didn't read it carefully then. That's true. It does say just one topping. On the test, I will try to be specific on this one, right? Toppings, these are considered our toppings, and it did say toppings, so you know what, you are right. I'm not even going to try to justify myself there. So one for that. Good job. Way to read. License plates, JX, so that's just 1, right? We're not even going to try putting numbers in for those. Has one more letter and 3 digits. So that's my third letter, that's 26, and then 10, 10, 10, so that's 26,000 plates. 1 mark for that. No repeated digits, so we are okay with our letter. We can use all 26, then we can use the 10, the 9, and the 8. Okay? If you're into permutation notation, this one could have been done this way. 26 pick 1, and 10 pick 3. If you wanted to write it that way, it's more stylish. Right? There we go. License plates. How many license plates in the series have repeated digits? So here's where you want to take the total and subtract the ones that have no repeats. Okay, this is a bit of a, I will say this is quite classic on the exam. Okay. So you subtract it to get your plates. And obviously if you got these wrong up here, but I see you subtract them, you still get the mark for C. Okay. Let's keep going. What I wanted you to do here is, if I ask you to show your work or do it by hand, I want you to use this formula. I hope you have this on your study sheet. Where am I going to fit this here? NPR. It means, right, take N, put a factorial on it, and then N minus R, put a factorial on that. That's what I want you to actually plug in the values and evaluate, right? Try to cancel out a factorial and just get a number. That's what I want you to do. Just show me as much as possible there, as much work as possible. All right, keep going. This one is the one where the wording wasn't very clear. And so we've got 9 teachers. So this is already rewritten, by the way. So yours is probably slightly different. Yours did not specify, just specified like picking 3 teachers, right, from the 9. And so those 3 positions, right, how many ways could you select those positions? 9 pick 3, so right, first, second, and third. And we're assuming that obviously if you're presenting, you're not going to present again, right? So you can't hold the same first position, or you can't go first, second, and third, right? Like who would want to listen to you 3 times? I hope that makes sense. A picture is to be taken of the presenters. How many ways can they sit in a row? And this I meant like all 9, like all 9. If you pick all 9, how many ways can they be seated? It's 9 pick 9 or 9 factorial. Okay. If it was only the 3, then it would obviously just be 3 factorial. But here, how many arrangements if Mr. Erickson and Mr. D are sitting together? So you've got your group of 2, and then you zoom out to get your 8. Maybe I'll do this one more time, right? There's 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. right? If we consider this is a group of 2, that's a 2 factorial right there, and then you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's the 8 factorial. So I'll give you 1 mark for having the 2 factorial and another mark for correct answer, which means you did have the 8 factorial there, right? That's the implication. So this is grouping in an arrangement, right? In a row, right? So because grouping is going to change a little bit today. 2 teachers in the group do not get along. How many arrangements are possible if they're not to be sitting together? I'm using the answer here because, right, Mr. D and Mr. Erickson together, that is 2 people together, right? So I'm using my answer here to answer this one. So basically what I'm saying is all possible ways of sitting, right? If there are no restrictions, everybody gets along, right? And then if you want to take away, you got to take away the group of 2 that can be formed. So you've got basically you want to get rid of that. So I subtract my 2 answers here. So it goes 9 pick 9 and then 2 factorial 8 factorial, which is basically what I had before. And so there's 282,240 ways of that happening. Okay, so 10 marks for this page. Then we'll go to the back. How many ways can you arrange the letters in the word Monday? And there are no repeats, but you do have a limited supply, right? So you can't go 6 times 6, right? Repeat it. So it's 6 pick 6 or 6 factorial, 720 ways. How many ways can the letters be arranged if it must start with a vowel? So out of this word here, we only have 2 options there. So 2 options. Remember, this is technically branching off either O, it starts with an O, or it starts with an A. And instead of doing that, I'm just going to go times 2. So my answer times 2. So you pick one, you still have 5 letters left. So it's basically 2 times 5 factorial. That's what it ends up being. That's 240 ways. And then unbelievable, it has 12 letters, 3 E's, 2 B's. And so you get 1 mark for having the 12 factorial and 1 mark for having the 3 times 2 factorial. Are we good? Did I miscount? Oh, yes. L and L. As I said, 2 L's. You just didn't see that. So that would be 4 times 6, that's 24. The top is right. I counted 12, right? 12 letters? Okay. Yes. So it's basically just whatever I had here divided by 2. Can someone, Vanessa, did you have that? I'll copy it off of her, otherwise I'm going to get it wrong. 19,958, 400. Thank you. Thank you. Is that okay? As I said, make sure you read carefully. There was one on the exam. I'm going to show you that later on. It was like, I think it had 18 letters. And so it's like, yikes, right? So yeah, this goes to show, make sure you and if you need to rewrite it and have them like separated so that it's easier to see, then do it, okay? Do it. Next, how many ways? This one is a very easy one. You count 8 steps, and there's 4 horizontal, 4 vertical, right? So it ends up being 70. I'll say this, 1 mark for having the factorial notation there and 1 mark for the final answer. If you get one of those, you're doing pretty good. So here I wanted you to be aware of the fact that marbles, they're identical. There's no distinguishing features on them. So 4 red, 5 blue, 6 white. How many ways can these be arranged in a row? And so you have 15 in total. but there are 4 reds, 5 blues, and 6 whites. So we need to divide them out. So you got 1 mark for the top, 1 mark for correctly dividing out the bottom there. You get a really big number, 15 factorial. I think it's scientific notation at that point. I didn't use this calculator right here because I was at home doing this. But anyways, when you divide out, you get 630,630. Okay? So that's 2 marks for this part. So that'd be 2, 4, 6, 8. So the back side is worth 8 marks. So add it up, and you're the teacher today, so I'm not really going to argue with you a whole lot. I quickly scan, and if I see something very obvious, that's the only time I'm like, wait a minute. Okay. But other than that, I'm not going to sweat it. So we did both ACs. That's it.